I just put about a cup of salt here at the beginning of the path through the woods that goes to my son's property. We'll see if this does indeed kill the roots on this path beginning. It is Veterans Day 2021. It's supposed to rain this afternoon, so I'm hoping it soaks into the ground and does its thing. Epsom salt. Additionally, here's the base of a muscadine plant. They're very invasive. These vines grow all over and wad up into the trees. I've got some videos up about how I've had to cut these down, pull them down. They just really do a lot of damage on the trees. I'm actually going to put 2 cups around this to see if it will kill the root part of this muscadine down in here, so that it doesn't come back and grow all over my path and all over these trees around here. I'm going to put two cups. I put about a half a cup around this little tree here, just right beside that rock. See if it will keep it from coming back. Here's another very large muscadine plant. This one was all wrapped up in the trees, and I cut as much as I could. So I'm probably going to put about 4 cups around this, because you can see how invasive the vines are already. Even though I cut this back this spring, it's very close to this part on the path. So I'm going to put about 4 cups around this thing. This was a partially full bag. It's 8 pounds of the Epsom salt. I bought it on Amazon. You can check in the text below or in the comments below, and I'll provide a link for this product. But I put it on the major places that I showed you, and I also just sprinkled a little bit along the entire path, which goes all the way past back there where you can't see. So very light dusting of what was left over. We'll see what happens. Veterans Day 2021. The Epsom salt did not provide a permanent solution to the weeds and the muscadine vines growing, but it did slow them down some, but didn't have the permanent results that I hoped for. Let's try elsewhere. Just regular Epsom salt that I bought off of Amazon. I've actually had this for 3 years now. It's time I used it, right? Paid $6.56 for the bag. Supposed to be able to cut along the dotted line and then reseal it, but I'm going to use every bit of it. And just so you know, if you don't, use resealable. I mean, I never do I want anything growing in this corner, ever. This is the corner of my house, and I don't want plants or anything here because that's the water faucet that I use mostly to water the front yard, porch plants, things like that. So I thought about putting the salt in a sprayer and spraying it, but then I thought, why not just sprinkle it and then water it down and see what happens. So I'm going to do that. Literally. That is one 8-pound bag. I've scattered it from that rock all the way to the corner, to this board, to the corner of that. Actually, I'm not going to water it tonight. I'm just going to leave the salt and let it do whatever, because it's supposed to start raining in a day or two, and I think I'll just let Mother Nature take over and do some of the work for me, see what happens. I'll check back, see if this does kill anything. It's been 5 days. We didn't get the rain that we thought we would get. And I see absolutely no signs of death. Time to water. See if I can get some of this salt dissolved down into the soil. 13 days later, and you can see that some of the foliage and weeds have been killed. Not instantly. Maybe it's going to work a little bit slower since I didn't wet it. It has rained a few times, but the weeds have certainly diminished. It's not instantly killing them. Unfortunately, a month after sprinkling the whole bag of Epsom salt in this area, it did not prevent reeds from reoccurring. Going to try something different. I have this cheap sprayer I have a video about, and I put that much warm water in there. I'm going to add about 1.5 liters of boiling water. To hopefully dissolve the Epsom salt. I'm going to add this entire bag, 8 pounds. Let's take the handle, put the notches down in here, put it in there, and use that to screw it on. Take the notches out, start pressurizing it. My little pump sprayer has sprung a leak, so I guess we'll be doing it this way. Either that or I'll pour it all over everything. Didn't exactly work out with this sprayer as I had hoped. We do have 2 bags, 2 8-pound bags of Epsom salt. The second bag was mixed with water and sprayed or poured on this area. We'll see if that makes a difference. Next time we'll add Epsom salt and dishwashing detergent. It is 7 weeks later since I put the first bag of the salt here. I think it did a little bit because there's a lot of weeds going there. When you see, they just stop right there. It didn't quite kill everything. I did water it a couple of days ago because there were some big pockets of salt that hadn't dissolved. So I have to say it's somewhat effective. I think perhaps it would have been more effective had I dissolved the salt in some warm water or hot water perhaps, and then use the sprayer that worked to spray it on top of the soil, and or actually on top of the rocks and the weeds, and let that kind of trickle down. But I think there's fewer weeds than there were when we started off, and weeds are definitely still growing out here. Here is the before picture before I put some salt on this corner. And here is after 7 weeks, so it is working somewhat. It's just not 100%. So next time I'll try adding with the hot water and maybe some dishwashing detergent. Thanks for watching. Please consider giving the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and leave a comment if you have a recipe that's better than this. Thanks a bunch.